When I describe it to people, I just use the word transformative. So it literally has been so profound for me. It is life before clear inner focus and life after clear inner focus. It's just on an upward trajectory and just keeps continuing to get better and better. And it's just fun to see, where life is going to go from here.
Hi, I'm Patty Jackson, founder of Clear Inner Focus Coaching. And today I thought it'd be fun to share Tracey Huebner. She's a fantastic life coach trainer. Her journey from where she started with Clear Inner Focus to where she is today is like the story of so many of our clients. I thought it'd be fun to share so you could understand a little bit more, and maybe you'll relate a little bit more to where you are and how coaching is different than a lot of different modalities, especially at Clear Inner Focus. So welcome, Tracey.
Thank you so much, Patty. Yeah, great to see you and great to be here.
So I thought you could give a background of like life was like before Clear Inner Focus, and where were the steps and the little pings that started to lead you to like want something more and want something different, that started you open to even saying yes to something such as coaching.
I just want to say, wow, I'm so happy our paths connected. And boy, my life has just been on the upward trajectory since the very first time we met and the very first time we started working together. I think we started working together in 2018, where I was at in my life. I was actually having all sorts of difficulties in my life. I was experiencing some pretty high anxiety and things were just unraveling. My relationships were just very difficult and I was just completely in a pretty bad place. I was working with a therapist. I was definitely making some headway with my therapist. And then at the time, one of the difficulties I was experiencing was my relationship with my husband of 33 years. We just had an anniversary. So I was talking with a friend and she suggested that I talk to you about couples coaching. So I initially started working with you, Patty, one-on-one coaching, or two with my husband joined us, for the primary purpose of really working on my relationship with my husband. And when we started working together, it was just really different than therapy and very different, really, from anything I had ever experienced. And I just resonated with your coaching style. I resonated with the stuff you were teaching. I started applying it. And not only did it help my marriage, but it really started to help all my relationships and my overall happiness, my whole way of being in the world. So I was really profound. So we worked together, I know, with one-on-one coaching for quite a while. And then at some point, I think we were in a coaching session, and I think I was like, I think I want to do this for a living. And you just had a big smile on your face and you were like, yeah, I thought you might want to do that. And that started our conversation about coach certification and ended up taking life coach certification. And off we went from there.
I remember when you said that, and I was like, well, finally, because I remember when I first met you, I was like, wow, Tracey is so incredibly intuitive. You get these things so quickly, you're applying them so quickly, and really loving the results you're getting. Not unlike a lot of our clients, but you understood the mechanisms behind it. And I could tell that that was something that you were really passionate about. So I just sat there and watched and knew it was going to take some time to really get the operating systems fine-tuned. Then when you said you were ready, I was like, oh, yeah, I knew that I was going to come along. I heard you say that all of your relationships changed. And what I know to be true is that all of our relationships are really just a template of my relationship with myself. What boundaries do I have with myself? How far into disempowering thoughts am I going to go after and attack the thoughts? Am I going to go after and judge the thoughts? Or am I going to just simply soften, love, surrender, and start coming back home again? And that relationship that I have with myself is also the way that I habitually respond to other people, especially people I love. And so that's the fun thing about the way that coaching really ends up affecting all areas of life. There's an analogy of like when you fertilize the ground, the whole plant flourishes. It's not just the part that you fertilize, you know, where you put the fertilizer, but the whole plant ends up getting the nutrients. So that's what I heard when I heard you explain how things started changing in all different areas.
And even listening to you there, it's, you love everything that you teach, Patty, and it resonates so well with me. I remember the experience when we first started meeting. It felt like I was just like thirsty, and everything I was learning, it just was like I just couldn't get enough. And then I think I even asked her, I was like, what books can I be reading? What else can I learn more of this? And I just started really diving in. And then it was so cool as working together, and as I started practicing ways of thinking and new ways of approaching things, seeing those results, like, wow, boy, that interaction went so much better. The old way that I would have done it, it just would have been difficult, and there would have been, wouldn't have turned out how I wanted it to. And then trying new ways and then seeing results from the new ways of like that experience, like that was just really neat. And it turned out in such a more positive way. And realizing that, boy, changes that I was making on my side was really impacting those around me as well in a very positive way, because you were kind of that relationship with others, kind of feeding off each other, and we're reacting to one another, and we're a little dance, right? And when one person changes the steps, as I was practicing, it really changed all my relationships. It's kind of cool to think about that we have that ability to impact those around us in a powerful way by just changing the way we show up to interactions. Kind of a cool concept. And
That's
by the way, that was something that I never got before working with you, Patty, and before any of this. My whole thing was like the other person had to change. Boy, if I could just get that person to make these changes, then my life would be okay. I just need this person to do this differently, then it'll be okay. I just need this person to do this differently, then it'll be okay.
right.
And it was a complete flip, really looking at how I was showing up, and then watching how by me showing up in a different way that it positively would impact those around me, and they as a result showed up in a different way. So pretty cool
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really a trick because often the other person really would benefit from showing up a different way, right? And I
Yeah.
can see that they would benefit from showing up a different way, but I have no power or control over what they do. But if I show up a different way in response, now I'm okay. And when I'm okay, I'm not part of the disease. I'm part of the cure. And once I can stand there and part of the cure, the other person holds all the pieces to the problem so they can do something about it. Otherwise, I touch it, I hold a piece of the problem. Now the whole puzzle's not there, and it's pretty hard to put together something new. And so that's the really trick about the whole thing is the thoughts that keep a lot of people from coaching is I should be able to do this all by myself. Because in that reality, you are doing it all of the work by yourself. But to get the insights, to have somebody to talk to come up with a plan on a new way to respond to yourself and your own frustrations about how hard it's been, and your own sadness about how you've tried so many different ways to help that other person change. So the flip is to just remove yourself from the whole pattern, find a new response to the other person, because the most important thing is that you're okay whether they change or not. And once you're okay whether they change or not, they have way more ability to change, and you have way more impact with your words and actions when you do respond to them. And that's counterintuitive. If the going gets rough, I'm going to try harder. If the going gets rough, I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to hunker down. I'm going to maybe try less and just watch more and learn more. And wow, the things that happen from there are incredible.
I was just going to say what you just said there. The biggest thing that resonated with me that I just really loved is where you said having a plan or choosing a new response. So my desire was there on a scale of 1 to 10. My desire was a 10 to do the right thing. And I was trying so hard, but I needed a new strategy. I needed a new plan.
Mhm.
And it gave me an opportunity for ideas to try a different way.
Mhm.
And then I was trying a different way and it was working. So, and it was like, then you kind of get reinforcement, like, going to try this in this circumstance and kind of a whole new way.
Yeah. Very fun. It's a fun new way to do things, and it doesn't mean life is completely easy over on this side with these tools. But
Mhm.
what it does mean is that when the going gets rough, I can be with myself and soothe myself. I know who to turn to get support and who not to turn to get support during those times. And I know how to incrementally understand that this is just another growth platform, and growth in the beginning stages is really hard, but it gets better and I can look for signs of growth, which keeps me in the idea of faith and trust that more is going to come and that I'm not indeed stuck forever. And if I can do that, then it doesn't have to last so long or be so hard. And that is the best thing that I love about all that we do for the people that we do, and all of the testimonials that are coming back from people about how it's sustainable, how years and years later, those strategies are still supporting them in doing just that.
Didn't you just have a client that you worked with like years ago, and she was in a circumstance and said how your voice came and your teaching, and she ended up feeling inspired by that, and how she's basically using what she learned 15 years ago.
Yeah. I get an email right after New Year's with that it's still making a difference. And the ideas are still supporting her and being authentically true to herself and enjoying her life. It's like, wow, pretty amazing. And amazing that she took the time to reach out and to share that many years later, when I haven't talked to her in quite a long time. She was actually a coach. And so she was with us for like 16 with all the other people in class. Tracey, you had mentioned that you realized that you wanted to become a coach, or that you think you might wanted to be doing this too for a living. And then you mentioned it once. And then when I circled back around to you, you really taken aback and hesitated. So I would love to know what you were afraid the course was going to be. What was keeping you from saying yes to at least just taking the learning, and what it actually was instead of what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I remember that time I was actually going through quite a few struggles. I was trying to figure out if I should take the class or not. I knew I loved everything I was learning with you with one-on-one coaching, and I knew I wanted to take the class, but I kept talking myself out of it. And one of the things, this was my biggest concern, is I said, could never be a coach. I could never be a life coach because I get into people's business too much. I just get wrapped up into their problems. And so if somebody tells me, if somebody talks to me about maybe a struggle they're having, I just like want to get in there and fix it for them. And I get overly wrapped up in people's other struggles in life. And I was like, boy, if I was a life coach, that would, I mean, putting me right into the fire, right? So I kind of back on that. And then I finally kind of peace with it and decided to move forward. Is I said I could never be a life coach because of that reason, but I think I'm just going to take it for personal growth, just because I was enjoying learning so much. And then it was kind of a jump for me to spend the money on something that was just personal growth. That wasn't something I was accustomed to doing. And for actually the decision for me to be able to do it is one of the things I was doing when my life was so uncomfortable is I kept wanting to vacation problems away. So I just kept booking vacations. Actual life I had made it just was not going so hot. And what I decided is I was like, what if I improved my life so much that how I felt on vacation was how I would feel in my regular life? Wouldn't that be magical? And so I decided to hold on any vacations and decided to invest the money in personal development for me to be able to kind of out for myself in learning what so much of what I was learning with you. And so my how I started off in life coach certification was entirely with the benefit of personal development for me.
Excellent. I love the reasoning and the cost. I often think when people come to coaching, it's 3 months of coaching and you'll get a whole new operating system for your life. The tool,
Yes.
practice, the habit, the self-love, the all those things in 3 months for the cost of a new laptop.
Yes.
So certification, not only do you get that for yourself, but at a really profound and deep level, do you get it when you
Yes.
go through certification? And that is the cost of a vacation.
Mhm.
Really, you can say it's not going to be that much, but then you add the dining out and
Mhm.
the going out and the things. And I would guess that certification comes right about the cost of one trip, long trip to Florida for sure. You could
Mhm.
spend as much as you do on certification. So I love that you could say, what if I didn't have to keep going on vacation to enjoy my life, but my whole life could become a vacation because of this? And what about today? Would you say your whole life is a vacation, Tracey?
Yeah, and it's so funny that my life is just so yes. Yeah, I even feel the need for vacations now. People will talk about vacations, and I just enjoy my life so much day to day that I don't really feel a need to. Of course, I like to travel, but I don't feel the need to travel, where before I was using it to escape because I was unhappy in my life, and I don't have that anymore. What I found out when I was in the certification course is that my biggest fear was the getting over involved in other people's problems and just being swept away. What's so awesome about the certification course is we work on that a lot, on being able to stay grounded even in the presence of other people's difficulties and being able to listen. We work a lot on that. By the time I had finished the course, I was like, I can do this. The practicing and all the chances or all the opportunities we have to coach people and to be able to step into that coach's chair, I felt really comfortable moving forward as a coach.
Yeah.
So, biggest fear ended up being completely taken away through the course as we took the course.
I think it's great because you are aware that you get over involved. And that is exactly what the course teaches. I was talking to someone on marketing and they said, start off asking people what it would be like to help people shift. Like, no, people come to our life coach certification because they already help people shift. The problem is sometimes they get too involved and then they get wrapped up in it. But they've already had experiences of helping people shift. It feels so good. It's who they really want to be. So then we can misuse the gift and get wrapped up in or take on other people's stuff because we know we're powerful and can do it. So it just gives people the strategies to stay in their power and not get all caught up and try to fix anybody else, but give them the space to get clear and do the work they need to do for themselves. The people that come to our program is they're already doing it. And they also know the problem of getting, just like you said, getting caught up in it and getting weighed down by how much they care about other people. So if you're someone who loves to help people grow and you can read them, you can understand them, you can even hear them, and you can hear actually what they might need to hear so that they could shift and grow, yet you understand the problem of getting caught up in it, about reaching in and trying to help and fix them, about walking away and being worried that your voice was hurtful instead of helpful, or you walk away and you start now carrying their burden and you can't stop thinking about their problem, chances are you are a natural life coach. And this program is something that will help you personally. So even if you never become a coach, you're going to be able to clearly use your voice and walk away and trust what you did was part of the cure, not part of the disease, or at least neutral, because some people are not ready to learn and grow and they don't want any help from you. They just are being them. And how do you know the difference when you can actually hear there's pain in what they're saying? So, being a really caring person can be a really big challenge when you don't have the tools and strategies to know how to take care of yourself before taking care of anybody else. And that's what the program does.
I love how you describe that, Patty. I could fully see myself as you were describing that is somebody who deeply cares about other people and wanting to help, but losing myself in the process. Also, was my help actually helping? but I didn't know any other way, right? So my way was to jump in and try to grab the steering wheel for them and start driving their car for them and trying to take over and then get frustrated when they wouldn't listen to my advice and then spend all night thinking about why they're not listening to me and how come they, all the stuff, all the stuff. I just didn't know a better way. And that's really what life coach certification, one of the things I was able to walk away with is really having a clear understanding of what is actually helping, what is rescuing, what is enabling, and finding better ways to be able to navigate when those around you, the people you deeply care about, are struggling, and being able to provide support without getting, swept up and lost in it. Boy,
Yes.
and you talk about value there. How much would you pay for that? Right? It's like, wow. Like, I just think about that right there. I mean, that is like a really big life-changing way of interacting with people.
Right.
And it really helps.
Especially with children.
Yes. The people we care about the most.
It's a great thing to be able to do as a parent is to hold the space for your kids to not get caught up in the worry or to touch the worry and really get grounded on the focus so that everything that comes out of my mouth, I know is part of the cure and not part of the disease. It's not pushing them and picking at them so they push back and stay there forever. It gives them all the space to go like, you got this, and I love you whether you don't ever change or not. Wow, is that a big one? But then the changes, oh my, and the conversations we have along the way, oh my, beautiful,
Yeah.
really, really neat, deep conversations. And
Yeah.
mostly listening to their own soul searching and finding new answers and insights and wisdom.
As I've been working on all this and practicing and trying different ways, is that even with the certification and even with the one-on-one coaching, I'm not perfect, right? And I'm just showing up in the world the best that I can, but I'm continuing to learn and I come from a place of love. But just like everyone else, I make mistakes and I don't, do it right or perfect or whatever all the time. But I feel like I'm getting stronger and I'm getting better and I'm on the right path. And that's all I can do is show up and do the best I can each day and just continue to grow and do my best.
I 100% agree. And so this isn't about, I have all the answers for life because I don't. All I know is I know I can listen really well. And when other people are looking for their answer, I can hear and hold a space for them that they will find their answer.
Mhm.
Those two things I do know. The other thing I do know is that when I am in that fumbling around place in life, when I've made a mistake, I don't beat myself up like I used to. I don't go into shame and anxiety like I used to at all. And even if I do feel shame or anxiety, it's just like, oh, wow, there it is. Instead of it being what it used to be back when I didn't know how to be with those normal human emotions that are helping me grow in time. But this is just the beginning of the growth cycle again. Holy cow. Okay, there's something to learn here. There's something I want to be doing differently. Haven't set up the plan yet, but I have the tools to do it. And I know how to get focused and get clear on what I'd like to do differently in the future. But it doesn't mean it's easy. There's always that, I call it working in. Instead of going to the gym to work out and stretch muscles, go in and work in and stretch those things inside that don't feel comfortable. But when I stretch them, they get stronger and my inner strength gets stronger. And that to me is so important. There's one other thing I wanted to share too, Tracy, is not only are there some people who are very empathetic and can see and really care a lot and want to help other people and get involved that way. Many times that personality type, it's a caregiving, helping personality type. People who are struggling look for that personality type and
Mhm.
they will find that person and maybe even misuse their gifts
Mhm.
by pulling their attention and getting you to focus totally on them and getting you to completely love them and listen to them and try to help them. And it becomes like an energy sucker where I feel so bad about myself. I need someone to help me. And so I can find a helper who will help me. And oh, it feels good because I can feel their love and energy. But then you walk away and oh my God, now both people are feeling really bad. But secondly, this person who's looking for someone to love and accept them, for looking for someone to help them, really needed to be flipping their focus and learning how to look towards themselves. So that's the other thing that's hard about being a caregiving and helping personality type is not only is it my propensity to want to help somebody over there and then forget about myself, there are people who are looking for me because they know this is what I'll do to help them, and
Yes.
which will perpetuate the problem of me losing my ability to focus on myself and my own life, to take care of the things I need to be taken care of for right in front of me that I don't want to, that I'm struggling with. Those things are real and they do happen. And then once you can understand this person's being needy and they're pulling at me, I'm not helping them by feeding that at all. I'm not going to touch it. I will help
Yes.
that person when they're ready to help themselves. And so by really getting in tune with that exists and also getting in tune with our own emotions, getting in tune with my intuition is telling me this, and I'm going to trust myself over trusting my desire to help other people. Whew, those things can really support not only my own stability and growth, but my ability to truly and powerfully help people in time when they're ready. Because, like
Yes.
you said, it's a lose lose. If
Yeah.
they find me and I go and
Yes.
rescue them and I feed them my energy and they suck off my energy, we both lose. Oops.
Yeah. Boy, I love how you said that, a lose-lose, and I love how you brought that up, and that's so profound, Patty, that, just being able to identify that, boy, there's some people that, their way of being in the world are givers. They're givers, almost to a point of like of an overgiver, and I'm gonna put myself in that category. I was kind of an overgiver. I would help others even to the point of ignoring my own needs. And it's a gift, right? It's a gift. And then there's people that are more of a natural taker, right? What's interesting is it's not like the overgivers are good and the takers are bad. What I've figured out over time is the givers are giving almost in a way to get something.
Mhm.
They're giving because it's making them feel good or maybe superior or a rescuer or being able to swoop in and be the hero. They're almost getting something from that, and so it's not completely altruistic. And I love how you said lose lose, right? The real place to be is the balance. We should be able to receive too. So the givers of the world should be able to receive.
Right.
And you want the takers to be able to give. So,
Right.
having this beautiful flow of giving, receiving, giving, receiving, giving, receiving. And that's the real juicy relationships that are absolute win win, where both people are giving and both people are joyously receiving. And that was something I really struggled with. I couldn't, it was difficult for me to even accept a compliment. And just being able to receive gifts and joyfully receive compliments, joyfully receive when people want to share things with me. And it's being able to set that up for such a more beautiful, win win, balanced
Right.
relationship.
I know when a overgiver actually asks the overtaker clearly for something that they want, and that overtaker produces it, and there's a genuine exchange of gratitude. Oh my goodness. Both people really, really benefit from it.
Yeah.
Overtakers don't want to be overtakers, and overgivers don't want to be overgivers.
Yes.
It's just our gifts overused. So when one person changes and the other one can show up in a different way, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. And it can be felt in a room when we're working with people in class and something like that happens, when there's a new exchange and people feel that gratitude of like, oh, there's the balance I've been looking for. It's like watching somebody play with a baby. Everyone in the room feels happy. A lot of teachers are talking a lot about narcissism, 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 and you just need to get rid of narcissists. Well, narcissists are overtakers. They're feeling inadequate. Well, so are overgivers. They're feeling inadequate, so they're going to help someone else. And so, yeah, extreme narcissism can really be a problem, But I think there's an opportunity for the overgivers to really learn how to have a really good boundary and to ask clearly for what they want and to hold people who are overtakers accountable. Because I know that when I was overgiving wherever I went, if I just cut someone out of my life, guess what? I was going to do it again with someone else. It's just fun to look at the normal human stuff and stop judging it so harshly,
Yeah.
like there's something wrong with you, and just like, wow, you established some mindsets that are driving some habits that you no longer want to be doing anymore. They no longer
Mhm.
serve you.
Mhm.
Wasn't a problem up until it is a problem. Now we can establish new mindsets. We can establish new habits, get clear on the habit first, and then start implementing them instead of trying to change the behavior without changing the inside stuff. Oh my God, that was the hardest thing in the world, to try to change a behavior without changing the mindset that was driving the behavior. It's an inside job. Answers come from within. Inner strength. We have all kinds of words that describe insights, intuition, that describe inside first. Even Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's like in there first, then out there. In our busy world, we often don't take time to do that, and our ability just atrophies.
If you're looking and considering it, there's a seed that's in you that's whispering to you. And there's a reason why you're curious. I would encourage you to just explore, just take one step, whether it's a phone call with us, whether it's reading more about what we offer, whether it's just talking, maybe connecting with other students that have taken our course, to do one step forward to explore that curiosity and then just see where it goes from there.
And maybe you take it for personal growth. And truly, so many people have just taken it for personal growth. And that's been my most grandest joy, is the people that years later say, boy, I'd never have the business or the family or the marriage or the whatever I have just because I did it for personal growth, like you started.
Mhm.
So not everyone starts like Tracey with personal growth and then goes all the way into training and becoming a master coach, but some people do. What are the things that you like the most about the class?
That's a great question. First off, I thought the class might be a little bit hard because I was working full time and thinking, okay, I got to fit this in. There's going to be homework and all that. The experience was quite different from that. First of all, I looked forward to class. It was really fun. And the class that I was in, I think there were about I think maybe 8 people. It was a all our class sizes are small, but the cool thing is you really get a chance to know these people that you're in class with and you're learning and growing along with them. So I really looked forward to class and I found the class uplifting and supportive rather than something I had to do or to sit through. I actually looked forward to it, and it was my uplifting time to get me through the next week. And so I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that I would enjoy it so much and just really count on these relationships of these classmates that I formed a connection with. And I'm still friends with today and still keep in touch with them today. So I really, really like that. I really like the format of how it's set up. We're keeping it small and being able to connect with those in your class.
I know that I've been training coaches since 2007, and even some of the earliest coaches are still doing exchange coaching with people from their class. So it's like a free exchange of coaching for a lifetime with the classmates many, many times. That's the situation.
And that support is so, so valuable. I have done coaching exchanges with my classmates as well. And it's so incredibly nice to be able to have that support from like minded individuals.
That's when I said when the going gets rough, I know who to turn to. There are some people that I might turn to that will buy into my story of something being wrong, and that never serves me. I just talked to someone who was a former client, and she came to a webinar and she said, I had the chance to talk to my sister-in-law, and she supported me and said, yes, this is absolutely a problem. And when I was talking to her, she said, I felt so good. And then I left the phone call and I just felt horrible. So that conversation of, you're right and the other person is wrong can feel so good in the moment. But when you walk away, you don't have solutions, because really the person who we're calling wrong is usually someone you very much love. And seeing them as wrong doesn't give me the ability to learn and grow and do something differently with them. But when I see what I want and solutions that I would like to see created from it, now I can have a conversation with that person without making them wrong, but with just like, hey, this is where we're at. What if we did it like this? Oh my gosh, you can move things forward very quickly that way and stay out of conflict way easier that way. And so who to turn to, and to have a handful of people that you can turn to that are going to help go from this is a problem to, oh, I can start feeling the solution I'd like to see and start getting the wisdom of the steps I can take to move it forward. Oh, the relief of that is everything for me. And I know it's been everything for clients that I work with too. So those are some wonderful reasons. I love the program. I just have seen what it's done for myself in my own life and other people. And I'd love, if you're considering this, give us a call. It's not a pressure call. I don't want people in class who don't want to be there. In fact, we even have a 2-class money back guarantee. If you're there for 2 classes and you're like, this is not for me, it's a mutual, here's all your money back, except for the materials. We will part very happily and have you go on your way. So give us a call. Would love to chat. Growth is on its way.
Patty, it was really nice connecting with you today. I really liked sharing my experience of one-on-one coaching with you that I'm forever grateful for. I'm so grateful for the experience of taking the class. When I describe it to people, I just use the word transformative. So it literally has been so profound for me. It is life before clear inner focus and life after clear inner focus. It's just on an upward trajectory and just keeps continuing to get better and better. And it's just fun to see, where life is going to go from here. So happy that you gave me this opportunity to just talk about my experience, because it's fun to talk about what my journey has been. If you are considering it, I'd love to just have the opportunity to talk with you and find out what you're thinking and find out if it is a fit for you.
There'll be a link below somewhere, and you
Yeah.
can jump on the calendar and we'll talk to you and share whatever's there. Thanks for the time here too, Tracey. It's always so fun to sit and reflect back on like the miracle and magic of pieces of unfolding and growth and how it used to be and how it is now. I'm here today and I'd like, wow, what's on the roads ahead of me too. Momentum's rolling, and I can't wait to find out who's going to be in my path in front of me and the new people I get to meet along the way. So good day.
Thank you.